So guys, this is now the new chapter of Jinx, and things are getting so intense. We start right where we left off. Kim Dan still clinging to Ju Jaekyung after that scare in the pool. The moment their bodies touch, time seems to stop. The water ripples softly around them. Both of them freeze. Then realization hits. Kim Dan suddenly pulls back. He stammers, cheeks flushed. I'm sorry. I just panicked. But Ju Jaekyung can't even breathe properly. His heart is pounding like crazy. He's so close, he thinks, staring at Kim Dan's trembling lips, his wet hair clinging to his skin. He swallows hard, trying to compose himself, but the heat in his chest only gets worse. It's not like I can run while wearing this floaty, Kim Dan mutters nervously. I freaked out and wasn't thinking. Jaekyung doesn't reply. He just keeps staring, eyes dark, voice caught in his throat. And before he even realizes it, he moves closer. Mr. Joe? Kim Dan whispers, surprised. Wait, what are you doing? But Jaekyung can't stop himself. His body moves on its own. His heart is racing, face burning. He leans in slowly, the tension thick in the air. Kim Dan blinks, frozen, unsure of what's happening. Then, at the last second, he turns his face away. I should try again without holding on, he blurts out quickly. He slips from Jaekyung's arms, moving toward the middle of the pool. His movements are clumsy but determined. Jaekyung just stands there, stunned. Damn it, he curses silently. What the hell did I just do? He rubs the back of his neck, trying to calm down. I'm supposed to be teaching him how to swim, not lose my mind over him. But every time he sees Kim Dan's face, that same strange pull comes back stronger. Moments later, he hears a splash. Hey, Kim Dan. Jaekyung calls out. I look away for 1 second, and you're drowning again. He rushes forward, catching him just in time. Relax. Breathe. Later that night, after they're both dried off and back in the apartment, the mood has calmed. Kim Dan is sitting on the couch, rubbing his stomach. If you're tired, you should rest, Jaekyung tells him. Kim Dan shakes his head. No, it's okay. If I go to sleep now, I won't be able to sleep tonight. He chuckles awkwardly. I shouldn't have eaten so much after swimming. Kim Dan lets out a little yawn. He's full, relaxed, and clearly fighting sleep. Jaekyung chuckles under his breath. True, I did stuff him, he thinks. I really went overboard earlier. I gave him all that steak. Look at that, Ju Jaekyung, the fighter, turning into a chef. But that's how much you should be eating if you want to get better, he says aloud, watching Kim Dan's sleepy eyes. Kim Dan nods softly. Yeah, you're probably right. Then, hesitating for a moment, he adds, Mr. Ju? Jaekyung glances over. Kim Dan gives a small, sincere smile. Thank you. Jaekyung blinks. For what? You weren't able to relax properly today because your hands were tied up with me, Kim Dan explains quietly. But thanks to you, I feel well rested. I even learned how to swim. Wow, finally, a healthy conversation between them. The tension feels lighter now. I think I'll be able to sleep well tonight, Kim Dan adds, his voice softening. Jaekyung looks at him in silence, unreadable for a second, before muttering, then there'll be no excuse to slack off tomorrow. But before the moment fades, he continues, So, what should we do next time? Kim Dan blinks. Next time? Jaekyung smirks. Yeah. We gotta take regular breaks, right? So what do you want to do? Kim Dan shakes his head. I don't really have anything in mind. Come on, think, Jaekyung insists. Have you ever done anything like this before? No. What about this? No. One by one, he throws ideas at him, but Kim Dan keeps rejecting them, and Jaekyung's getting amused and frustrated at the same time. But their conversation starts to slow down. Kim Dan's eyelids are heavy now. I'm so sleepy, he mumbles. I'll just rest my eyes for a second. He lies back on the couch. Jaekyung glances at him and sighs. He said he was going to stay awake, but within seconds, Kim Dan is out cold. Guess not, Jaekyung mutters. How's he going to sleep tonight now? He walks over, pulls a blanket over Kim Dan and pauses. For a moment, he just looks down at him, calm, peaceful, breathing softly. He's sleeping like a baby, Jaekyung thinks. This is much better than sending him to the hospital. There's a small warmth in his chest, that quiet satisfaction of seeing Kim Dan safe. The next morning, sunlight filters into the room. Kim Dan stretches, still half asleep. He glances down, his head somehow ended up resting on Jaekyung's lap. Jaekyung, sitting awkwardly, dozed off sitting up. The two of them look so at peace, like they finally found a rhythm together. From then on, they settle into a new routine. Jaekyung trains for his upcoming match. Kim Dan helps with his recovery and treatment. Sometimes, Kim Dan goes to visit his grandma at the hospice, while Jaekyung stays at the gym, focused on training. Other days, they share lunch with the old landlord, talking about small things, quiet, ordinary moments. And bit by bit, their days fall into sync. But then, Jaekyung takes out a small gift box. Inside is the birthday present Kim Dan gave him, along with a folded letter. He holds it for a second, lost in thought, when suddenly, there's a knock. "Mr. Ju, dinner's ready," Kim Dan calls from outside. Jaekyung quickly hides the box behind him. "Yeah, I'll be right there." Before long, his comeback match is just around the corner. Back at Team Black MMA, the energy is heavy. The fighters move quietly, focused. "The vibe feels really tense today," Kim Dan whispers to one of them. And he's right, something big is coming. The team is in the strategy room, reviewing every detail. Kim Dan listens intently. "I see," he says, absorbing the intel. The next opponent is Arnaud Gabriel, a high-ranking light heavyweight fighter from France. His specialty? Kickboxing. The other fighter on the team explains, he's not just skilled, his ranking is top tier, but the fans love him for his looks too. Kim Dan nods thoughtfully. Looks? That's what this is about. Arnaud Gabriel is poised to dethrone Ju Jaekyung as the hottest male athlete in the world, ranking first while Jaekyung currently holds second. That explains all the tension in the room. Jaekyung's manager and agency staff are already in motion, planning strategies to reclaim the top spot. "This is unacceptable," one manager says firmly. "We'll show them what's what at the next interview." The team debates over every detail: hair, makeup, outfits. "We'll bring in the best for his look," one says, double-checking measurements. "How tall is Gabriel?" Jaekyung asks, clearly unimpressed. 189 centimeters, comes the reply. "Good," Jaekyung mutters. "I've got him beat in height anyway. Just do what we normally do." Despite the hype about looks, Ju Jaekyung is focused on the fight itself, and he's clearly irritated by the distraction. "All you have to do is focus on the match," the team reminds him. "We'll handle the rest. You just have to defend your title as the hottest athlete in the world." The coach steps in, nodding. "Jaekyung, objectively, your skills are on another level compared to Gabriel's. You've been training like always. This event should be a breeze." Jaekyung rolls his eyes. "Geez, but if you get in the way of the match, I'm chasing you all out." "Got it." "Yes, sir," the team replies in unison. Only 8 days left until the comeback match. The scene shifts to the sky as the team boards their plane for the event. "Come on, Jaekyung. Let's make a splash," someone says. Even Potato is along for the trip. Kim Dan notices Ju Jaekyung's nervous energy. He's nervous, he whispers to himself, recalling the US match incident that still lingers in Jaekyung's mind. Jaekyung clenches his fists and exhales. "Yeah, let's go. Time to show off." The team leans forward in anticipation. The countdown to his comeback match has begun.